So a little recap, little summary, little detail fill-in for the first episode of the India Vortex live truth feed. I am here in Visakhapatnam. It is a coastal city, well, about 30 kilometers off the coast of the ocean, the eastern side. And the reason why I'm here is to design and potentially also build many buildings for the Home of Light Spiritual Retreat Center and Orphanage. So I've had some contacts here for quite some time, and they've been very interested in the sustainable efficiency that I have to offer in the forms of building and energy and resource cultivation and so I finally decided to get my visa, booked a flight, and come here as I felt that it was really important. It was really great opportunity to share sustainable aspects. So I'm here pro bono. You know, the reality is that, you know, even the money I spend, you know, which is a very small amount, is way more than pretty much almost anybody has in India. You know, of course, there's always rich people and rich organizations everywhere, but you'll be able to see from all the awesome videos and photos of what the lifestyle is like here. So living is very cheap here, building is very cheap here, and there's really no way, with the connection that I am currently linked with, that they could pay me. So I feel really good about that. I feel really great about being in service and being able to explore this country and these people in this way. So I am here, number one, to create a blueprint, a design for sustainable efficiency for the Home of Light Retreat Center and Orphanage. So that's where I am right now. I'm on the vacant piece of land where these buildings are to be built. And it's been really interesting, really intense the few days that I have been here. While the people that I am with right now are very open and very accepting and very loving, for the most part, it is completely unacceptable for someone of my status, who is basically a guru, to, you know, show physical affection, to expose their body, you know, to do all sorts of very common things for me. And so that's been really interesting. It's a really interesting dynamic here because there's very little law, there's very little, you know, rule, there's very little, you know, sort of like government or law structure. But at the same time, the social circumstances are almost more law and rule in itself than any law could ever be. It's ingrained so deeply, you know, thousands and thousands of years. I mean, it wasn't even that long ago where, you know, women were burned here for, you know, dishonoring their husbands, things like that. And so you can really feel, you can really sense that social just constraint. And, you know, it's really interesting just to explore. You know, in the United States, obviously very dysfunctional, very, you know, limited, but it's completely different. So, you know, that's a very interesting thing. We'll see how long I truly feel fulfilled and inspired and, you know, awesome being in this space. But so far it's been really interesting, really beautiful. I mean, the people are it's really interesting because the people are extremely loving, extremely giving, extremely high service. I mean, when I arrived on the airport, I was greeted by a whole group of people, and they had flowers and big strings of flowers for my neck, and gifts, and things of that nature, and can't even pick up my dishes off the table, and just everything is like provided for and given in service. Yet at the same time, if I were to, and not with all people, but if I were to step out of line socially, or to do something that was out of character for my status of being, then like boom, just like that, all of a sudden people would be scared and wouldn't want to interact with me. So it's a very interesting dynamic. But here I am. I've got a bunch of amazing videos, a bunch of amazing photography of the adventures out in the city, out in the villages, out in the towns, and I'm really excited to be able to share that, to really get a look at what common life is like here. And of course, with all places, India is a big place. There's a wide degree of terrain and lifestyle. It's really cool right now because it's winter time here, but it's 85 degrees, sunny every day. And it's pretty funny. Someone today was like, in about a month it'll be sunny and warm again. And I mean, when I left, the States, it was icy and cold, and so it's nice. It's really nice to be here. It's tropics. The weather is gorgeous. The fruits grow all year round. So I love that. And of course, you go up north, in India, and it would be pretty cold there. So yeah, there's a wide, varying degree of terrain, but here it's very tropical, very warm. And I've gotten my materials ordered for the beginning of structures. I've got a rough outline of the blueprint for the place. It needs some more work, but basically for right now, we're going to build one small building sort of as a test, so that I can train some workers, train some crew on the basic process of what my building style is, and then we will begin the phase of the more complicated, larger structures. And if I still feel like it is of high importance and inspiration and fulfillment to be here, then I could potentially be here for months. They want me to never leave, so I'm welcome and honored being here, though I don't really foresee that as my future. So that's a little recap, and we'll get to the exciting stuff now. In the DFW airport, about to board the plane to London, to England, which I will then get on a plane to India. Really big, powerful, life-changing energetics are unfolding right now. This trip and everything else, it's like a culmination of my whole life. It's like everything is going to change. I just feel it. My perspective, my beliefs, my importances, my truth. Oh my God, the power, significance. Got a long flight ahead of me. Plenty of time for meditation and clarity.
true full-on conscious experience is vast. Infinite potential. Woo! That's a lot. It's a lot to be aware of, and yet it's nothing. Just this breath. Just this breath is infinite potential. And yet this experience. This experience. I'm thankful. I'm honored. I'm humbled. So humbled. A whole new spectrum of possibility is now unfolding. Oh yes. Over halfway through the first leg of the journey. Sitting here on American Airlines flight. Got the best seats in the house. This is the emergency row exit, of course. Got so much room, I can't even stretch my feet out all the way. Fuck yeah. We just got a beautiful little service. Cranberry juice, and they even gave us a lime. Beautiful. Everything's energy, it's all in alignment. Of course. This perfect seat, this perfect drink, is in alignment with this perfect moment. We have everything. We have everything. The rest is bonus. One of the things I love about traveling is being able to tune into the culture and the land of the places that I go. England, their airport, for example, is massive and impressive. Why? Well, because they're England. And the people there, of course, they notice me, but they won't look at me in the eyes. They'll sort of pretend like they're not paying attention. Whereas in India, on the other hand, they've got gardens inside of their airport, and every single person will notice me, but not pretend, not hide, just completely look at me, completely stare at me. On the other hand, they do have a line for males, and they do have a line for females. Every country, every culture has its similarities, and they have their differences. Observation is a beautiful thing. Oh yes, we are here. Showered in love, embrace, acceptance, appreciation. Powerful. There are 4 types of living infrastructure here in India: villages, towns, cities, and ashrams. Whether in a city, town, or a village, everywhere is a trash can. Road rule, signs, or stoplights basically do not exist, and life is excitingly different. We are then taken to a fancy hotel restaurant, as they obviously are wanting to honor our presence with a Western expensive Indian food buffet, which we obviously do not care about, but are happy to honor and take part in. We are the only ones that eat, and they all watch. As the sun sets on this first day in India, we have arrived at the home of light. Ground zero. For a fully sustainable reality of abundant light. Yes.